Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 155, where Hearts were kind of brought back down to earth, back to reality after an absolute battering at Ibrox. To talk about that, I, as ever, am Daniel McIver, and I'm joined by the, I'm sure, delighted, excited, and over the moon Adam Kennedy. Adam, how are you?
All right, mate. Um, I'm sure that a lot of the anger that I had yesterday will return in this episode. But a fairly rubbish weekend. What about you?
Yeah, same. I had a like 9-1 aggregate scoreline for my two teams yesterday.
Yeah,
So it was some
yeah,
laugh.
that's not great. Actually, a good pal of mine who's an Arsenal fan was down at it. But I think the weekend was summed up by the fact that he went with his brother. He got in, his brother didn't, and I think he left at halftime. So there you go. He didn't want to leave Jamie on his own. So
Fair
there you
play to
go.
him.
That's a tokenly brotherly gesture, but it would not be me.
Nah,
So
Kier would be getting left outside. It doesn't matter. But we're trying to focus on other things apart from Hearts, but we can't really do that as,
uh,
yeah, got an interesting game to speak about. But first, we do go around the grounds where it was quite an action-packed weekend of Scottish football, to be totally honest. So the first one was St Mirren are back to winning ways after Stephen Robinson's having more fights with fans. Apparently that works because they won 2-0 against St Johnstone. The basement battle was really entertaining as Ross County managed to beat Livingston 3-2 but went 2-0 up. Livy brought it back to 2-2 and then Ross County get the last minute winner. Kilmarnock are not really the focal point of that game as they ran out 2-0 victors over just an absolutely minging Aberdeen team who are somehow looking worse under Neil Warnock than they were under Barry Robson. And in the last of the Saturday games, Hibs managed to get their first win since December the 9th or whenever it was, as they
that's right.
defeated, yeah, December the 9th, as they defeated Dundee at home 2-1. And then we're recording on Sunday, getting released tomorrow on the Monday. Just a few hours ago, Celtic managed to just get over the line against Motherwell as they eventually ran out 3-1 winners, but it took until the 92nd and 94th minute to actually get those goals. We will get to our game, obviously, but what did you make of the other games this weekend?
Just talking about Hibs, they're very annoying. First league win, obviously, since the 9th of December. You can't get over the fact that they scraped past Forth Athletic and were comfortable up against Inverness Cali. Yeah, absolute shock horror before the derby. That's just magnificent. It's just something that we didn't really need. Thanks, Dundee, as always, for your efforts. Kilmarnock will finish top six minimum. I think that's pretty much locked in. Whether it's fourth or fifth, I I'm still not going to say that. I'm not going to rule them out from finishing third because I'm just not buying it. I don't think it's done. I think last season we had the chance to solidify that. Didn't. Not sure that it's quite over like some believe. Aberdeen just looked to have sacked off this season, so that's really encouraging. Lots of angry fans tweeting about the fact that Neil Warnock was in Cornwall, Bojan Miovski was off on holiday,
Duke was in York.
Duke was in York. It's just a great laugh all round. Massive, massive fan of that. Thought Livingston did really well to come from 2 goals down against Ross County, albeit they still pissed it away. That perhaps typifies their season. The championship is pending. And St Mirren, yeah, great that they got back to winning ways. Fancied them strongly, just as I did Kilmarnock. And I think, like Kilmarnock, they'll finish top six again. Just don't really know where. Watched Motherwell Celtic. First half, Celtic were abysmal. I'm thinking in my head, if we get a derby win midweek and this first half Celtic turn up, we'll beat them. Second half, absolutely peppered Motherwell and eventually got their goals. Yeah, don't really know what else you want to say, to be honest, about the rest of the league.
That's fair.
I don't really care in the grand scheme of things when I look at our performance and result.
It is just funny to me that I thought Neil Warnock would have something about him, even though I thought it would be a disaster. I thought the disaster would come in like the end of March, April kind
You'd
of
have thought
thing.
they'd have picked up something by now.
Yeah, just an insanely bad start. I think it was that ABZ podcast said that under Robson, they were conceding on average 1.5 goals a game, which was already bad for an Aberdeen team. That's now jumped up to 2.25 a game under Warnock.
Not being funny as well. Like, I think I mentioned this on the podcast maybe an episode or two ago. Like, they just seem lost with the direction that they're going in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what Dave Cormack, I'm not really sure that I know what Dave Cormack thinks he knows what he's doing. Like, I don't know what they're after. Some of the fans want a play style, but they've been absolutely nowhere near replicating their best seasons since McInnes left.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think in Scotland you really implement a style of play unless you're one of the top two. I think the rest of us would gladly just take a guaranteed trip to Hampden, wins the odd win maybe against the top two and solid third place finishes like we seem to be doing at the minute. So I've got absolutely no sympathy for Aberdeen. A lot of their fans wanted McInnes out and good, get it round them.
Yeah, it's almost like the guy knew what he was doing and now he's turned up at their own gap and just like been like, oh yeah, I'm just going to keep beating you all the time.
Do you know, like, Kelly have got a really good recent record against Aberdeen, which is just really amusing to me considering how Derek McInnes was treated up there. So I've got absolutely no sympathy for Aberdeen, me.
Do us a favour, Derek, and put them at the cup as well, please.
That'd be a good laugh. Yeah, particularly when Neil Warnock said that he's never won a cup and that he'd like to get to a semi-final and whatever. I beg for an Old Firm semi-final. It's never going to happen.
It's not, but
if it did, and we took on either Aberdeen or Kilmarnock after hopefully getting past Morton, then
Morton, who aren't they dropping any points, by the way, and they're just motoring forward.
They're on an absolutely ridiculous run. But anyway, we'll come to that bridge when we get there. McIver, again, like, this league is really, really awful. I've just to start, like, even Celtic today, like, Rangers will go on and win this league.
Yeah.
But they're miles clear of us. I think they'll beat Celtic at Ibrox in the next Old Firm. I don't see how anybody can get towards the top two. And this is what irks me about, like, we'll obviously get onto it in terms of our game, but we went to Ibrox on an amazing run. There's talk of, Stephen Naismith saying he knows how to beat Rangers. He's not beaten Rangers yet. There's talk of us closing the gap on the top two. Like, just park this, man. Park this nonsense.
Naismith say that? I thought Naismith said that he had the idea of how to get mentality and going to places like that and feeling confident in a win, as opposed to when he was here as a player where he was like, well, you kind of went in going, nah, we're not going to get a result. I didn't hear him say that he knows how to beat
Apparently
Rangers.
In the evening news I got sent today, in the Edinburgh Evening News, Stephen Naismith knows what to do to beat Rangers.
That's different, though. That's saying I've got tactics and we'll hopefully go with a game plan.
You say that if you have.
Aye, but what if it was a direct question? What if the question was, can you beat Rangers? He's not going to go, no, I can't.
No, well, then the journalist's a knob and knows exactly what they're doing.
But then you've been bought into it. Right, we'll get into the game. We're trying to talk about other things.
This is like, it hurts. It actually hurts because of how well we've done. And like, this being brought back down to earth has hurt far more than I expected it would. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just me, but maybe it's like having to face several Rangers fans at work and just like hearing that, oh yeah, we're going to have to be at our best. And, oh, this might be a tight game. Didn't transpire that way at all. We were absolutely rank rotten.
I was about to say, I think it's very obvious to the listener that one of us is not arsed at all about this result, and the other one is very arsed. So we'll see what happens as we get into it. But we start with the lineup. There was changes made, and the big one was that Alan Forrest was dropped out of the starting lineup, which was the main talking point from the game, and that we maintained, which I think a lot of people expected, even though we didn't want it, that we would stick with the 3-5-2, which we did. So it was Xander Clark in goals, Stephen Kingsley, Frankie Kent, and Kai Rolls as the back three. Alex Cochrane and Nathaniel Atkinson as wing backs for Lembakisa. Neuenhoff, Beningame, Grant coming back in instead of Scott Fraser. And then Kenny Vargas and Lawrence Shankland up front as a two. As I say, Kenny Vargas coming in for Alan Forrest. When you saw the team, what were you thinking?
Pretty much what you said right at the start. Harsh on Alan Forrest, really.
Yeah.
I think Atkinson deserved to start given the impact that he made against Motherwell.
Yep.
I think that George Grant replaces Scott Fraser in midfield. I'm still not Grant's biggest fan. Like, he blows far too hot and cold for me. When it's going well, he's great, but how often do you really see it? I think he has a tendency to go missing. And Vargas, obviously, I think, yeah, it was always going to be a selection headache in attack, given that Vargas had obviously scored that cracker against Motherwell. Does he go with maybe Vargas and Forrest either side? I think he was always going to go three at the back. I think I said that on the last podcast. It's just whether you go one man extra in the middle of the park and try and get outlets either side to whip balls into Shankland. It became very apparent that we were obviously having that trio in midfield, and to me it was just too flat. I think it was basically trying to put together a carbon copy of what had worked at Parkhead, really, in it. And I think it was basically that sort of staple. It's evident to see that it worked against Celtic because they're poorer than Rangers are. But it was badly wrong right from the get-go in this one, unfortunately.
Well, right from the get-go, we immediately concede a minute and 15 seconds
Less than
in.
90 seconds on the clock. Like, that is just embarrassing. Imagine the media bigging up Hearts and the run that they're on, literally releasing articles saying that they're amongst the most informed teams in Europe. And that just goes out the window after 90 seconds. Like, 90 seconds? I've spent longer in the lavvy than that.
Some laugh in it. Some laughs.
Oh.
So Nathaniel Atkinson goes on his little cut inside that he loves to do.
Where is he
however-
off to? And what is he doing? I've no idea where any of them are off to. I've no idea where George Grant is going. Why he doesn't shut John Lundstrom down. Benny has no idea which direction Diamande is swivelling to. And I've no idea why we're always so slow to start. Why is this a common theme? Yes, we've been picking up results, but performances, this is what I mean. A performance and result have to coincide when you're playing better teams. You can get away with picking up a result without necessarily being at your best against a lot of the shite in this league. Here, you need to be on it from the start, and it became very apparent after a minute and a half that was not the case. 90 seconds, McIver.
Yeah. It ends up at John Lundstrom, who finds Cortez, who then finds Diamande, and he puts one into the far corner, past Anna Clark from the edge of the box. Obviously, I imagine the game plan was quite similar to the last time we came to Ibrox, where it was hoping to kind of keep the heat, stay firm for a few minutes, try and do what we did literally the last time at Ibrox and get a very early goal, and then play off that defensiveness. However,
soak up that pressure, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the entire game plan goes out the window when you
concede
that early.
Of course it does. It's so embarrassing. Like I say, 3 players arguably culpable here for me.
Yeah.
And that's Atkinson, because I don't know what he's doing. George Grant, why are you going to shut the fullback? The fullback's not even close to receiving it. And Lundstrom just given free space to just roam into. This is a player that under Clement has transformed. Under Beale, he was hopeless.
Yeah.
He's been one of Rangers' best players this season since Clement's come in.
And a big thing. Listen, I agree that 3 players are culpable, and I don't think there is a single goalkeeper, apart from maybe Jack Butland, in the league that saves that effort.
Oh, it's a great goal. Right in the corner.
Except for the guy who sat on our bench. Because, and this is the thing, right?
No, I don't think CG's getting near that either.
I think he does, because I think he's just an absolute freak of nature. I don't think 99% of goalkeepers are getting that. But I think Jack Butland gets it, and I think Craig Gordon gets it. And I don't think Xander Clark, listen, I think Xander Clark had one of those games where he probably is looking at the 5 goals that he concedes and goes, I could probably maybe do better at 2 of them, probably 3 of them. And this is one where he's probably just sat going, that's an amazing finish. That's an amazing finish. But I think the problem for Clark is, which I've said every week on this, is that we have the guy who is the best goalkeeper I've ever seen in the flesh sat on the bench. And the fact that a lot of Hearts fans could sit and go, I think CG saves that is a problem for him, which is an unfair problem for him to have. Every other, as I say, every other keeper in this league doesn't save that. Sander Clark's been the second best keeper in this league this season. He's been great this season. But the problem is we have just a complete enigma on the bench. If we had anybody else, it would be like, oh yeah, of course. Sander Clark doesn't get dropped. Even for conceding 5, he doesn't get dropped. But it's like, no, we have a freak. We have a genetic freak on the bench who can do mental shit.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I think it's just a phenomenal finish. My annoyance is, why is it so easy for him to get a shot off on the edge of the box
Yeah,
when he's
and
literally
as I
just
say,
scored in his last game for Rangers at
I
the
don't think
weekend?
Clark does anything wrong. There's nothing Clark does wrong here in the slightest. I think he's at full strength, stretch, full extension. He does everything he can. I just think we've got a literal freak of nature on the bench who can do things that you don't expect any other human to do, which is not Clark's fault. But yeah, Clark
Either way, we're never going to know.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
this is a
Exactly.
pointless discussion because we don't know if Gordon's going to save it.
Which is also why it's so harsh on Clark, because people will
Yeah,
have these discussions.
I just again like everybody needs to be at it from the very
Yeah,
off.
totally.
There's nearly a quarter, well, over a quarter of our players switching off
Yeah,
so early on into the game, which you cannot do
yeah.
if we to get a result.
Well, from there, there's kind of like it was a weird next half an hour where we were so under the cosh, but then we started to kind of come into the game. And by come into the game, what I mean is we kept the ball for like more than 10 seconds at a time, but they still kept coming after us. Attack, attack, attack. Dessers had the most Dessers first half you've ever seen. Where I know he was offside a couple of times, but the chances that he misses when he's offside are insane.
There's a chance on a quarter of an hour where I think he should make it two. I really do. And it comes from our attack, bizarrely. Stephen Kingsley has a cheeky little nutmeg on Yilmaz. Atkinson and Shankland look to combine an aimless pass from Shankland. Rangers then just break with such ease that it's unbelievable. Tavernier clears it. But Rose is just getting absolutely bitched by Dessers on halfway. Kai Rolls either looks like Paolo Maldini or Paolo Nutini, and there is no middle ground. He's either brilliant or brutal. This could well be one of the worst performances I've seen from a Hearts centre half. It was
Nah,
terrible.
it was
He was
terrible.
he
But
was
I've seen a lot of
awful,
shit centre half
absolutely
performances.
awful. We're lucky that Dessers was greedy on this occasion, and Clark denies him. Again, talking about Xander Clark, I think we're lucky that he doesn't prevent it from. I mean, five's embarrassing enough. This could have been 7-8. It could have been anything they wanted to make it. It really could.
Definitely, it could have been.
Absolutely awful.
We will move straight into that, as you just said. So we kept the ball for a wee bit, had a nice 5 minute spell kind of thing, but Rangers break as Kai rolls with a poor pass, allows Rangers to break in the counter, which ends up with Cortez, who got the assist for the first one, and in a very similar finish to the first one, puts Rangers 2-0 up. It is that situation where I saw a lot of people on Twitter after the game going, were we just really bad or were they really good? And I think it's a perfect mix of both. I think we were terrible,
You were
but I
awful.
think they were also. I don't think it was one of those games which we've seen a lot of times against the Old Firm where they don't have to be very good to batter us. But I
No,
think that was a situation where, yeah, we were terrible, but they were also excellent.
they've been threatening to do that. I think to somebody, it's just an absolute shock horror that it comes against
Yeah,
us. And
exactly.
like again, we are as we so often prove to be over the years, the masters of our own downfall, particularly when it comes to visiting Glasgow. I mean, what is Rose up to here on halfway? What
I
is he
think I
doing?
think what he's trying to do is play a quick ball. I think you can see Naismith. It cuts to Naismith at about 2 minutes before this gate, before this goal, and Naismith's like turning to the back line and just telling them to speed up. He's like, "Come on, we need to be quicker with our movement." So I think Rolls is just in his head. I need to just be playing this ball off quickly, and I think he gets caught in two minds between do I play it to Cochrane or do I play it inside? And as a result, he just kicks it in a general direction that is very easily intercepted. I saw Listen, I think there was quite an overreaction from this game online, but in specific terms, I think there was a overreaction to Kai Rolls. I think
No,
you
I
can
don't.
just,
I thought it was terrible.
yeah, no, that's fine. But I
Maybe
think
in
then
terms of me saying it's one of the worst. It certainly is one of the worst performances from a centre half in memory, like off the
that's,
top of my head.
I don't even think
If
that's
I
an
studied
overreaction.
it deeper,
I don't
I
even
could
think
go
that's
into
an
it. But
overreaction.
I thought it was absolutely awful.
I thought he was terrible and he was rightly hooked at halftime. But I think the overreaction
100%.
came in the fact that people were like, see, this is proof that he's not a good player. Why have we given him a 5-year deal? He's always rubbish. And it's like, that just completely ignores the fact that Rose has been pretty great this season. And when he left and Halkett came in, every Hearts fan was going, we need Rose back. We need Rose back
Yeah,
now. And then Rose came
yeah,
back in and it's been better. Him and Kent just look solid. I think there just needs to be a bit of like bigger picture thinking here and go, yeah, he was awful. And he'll be going, what have I fucking
yeah.
done? He was
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
But he's also a he's clearly
He has been decent for us this season.
good in this league.
He
He's just
has,
not good enough to make
but that
that
was
step up to the top two.
yeah, yeah. I think everybody was just frustrated because of how good he's been for Australia.
Yeah, totally.
That you just then
Totally.
wonder like why how can you not quite replicate that when playing for us? He has at certain points, and he needed to be like the Australian Kairos last at the weekend, but ultimately just wasn't. I also don't like I don't know whether people need to offer sufficient options because it's such a like bigger park.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to make passes that maybe would come off at Tynecastle that don't at Ibrox because it's
Yeah.
enormous.
Totally.
I don't know if there's a lack of teammates wanting to get on the ball and try and make things happen. If it's stage fright, if it's you're overawed by you go from 20,000 to over double that. I just I don't know what it is. It really irks me. I actually felt more annoyed at the last time we went to Ibrox because of this. I've seen countless performances like this one, which then makes it even more frustrating when you've gone and Rangers are yet to get to grips under Clement and you go and throw 3 points away earlier on in the season. Imagine how we'd be sitting right now if we came away having won at the weekend and previously at Ibrox. Even if we took a point at the weekend, we'd be thinking we could spring a surprise here. My levels to go. Levels
Well,
to go.
if it wasn't already, the game was very much put to bed 5 minutes later as finally he does score. John Suter crosses a ball very deep towards the back post. This, by the way, is where I think Clark is bad here. I think
Sorry,
Clark is bad here.
can I say as well, 40 minutes. It was nice of George Grant to turn up, but why is he deciding to shoot from
Oh
about
yeah, I know.
35 yards
Yeah, I
in an
know.
effort that just reeks of desperation? Now is not the time or the place. We get a goal back. I, I'm not saying that we go on and get a
Who
point or
knows
all
though?
three, but like then an element of doubt creeps in. This we just made it so easy for them as well at the weekend. That's
Yeah.
what angers me. And I think it doesn't help because of their situation. They had the chance to put pressure on Celtic playing the Sunday at Motherwell. They've got a chance to go 5 clear. When was the last time Rangers went 5 clear in the
Yeah, I
league?
know.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So they've got the chance to do that. They get an early goal, and the fans just think, brilliant. This is it. We could absolutely cruise this year. We could easily go 5 clear, put pressure on them tomorrow. Job done after 2 minutes. And it gradually got worse and worse and worse.
So yeah, John Suter's very deep ball towards the back post is met by Cyril Dessers, puts the game to bed. I think Clark should be coming to claim this or putting some pressure on because
Do you?
the ball's so deep. It's like
It's a phenomenal finish from the big man, to be fair.
that's it.
That's
That is the
exactly
thing.
why, yeah, he finishes the harder chances.
Yeah, it's like how
It's
are you missing the sitters and you're doing that?
that was Nikica Yelovic's. Do you remember that goal at
Yes, I
Tynecastle
do.
over the shoulder? I saw
Yeah.
somebody put them side by side. I was like, yeah,
That's what I'm
great.
saying. I'm not saying I'm expecting Clark to save this or expecting Clark to even catch this. I'm expecting them to move in some way though when the
Punch
ball's
clear or
that
what?
deep. Sure, but do something. Try even if you miss and it's like, oh well, listen, he saw a ball coming deep to the back post and he's attempted to go for it. Fair play, he's misjudged it. It's the fact he doesn't do
Yeah.
anything. He just stands still. It's like,
Like,
I think actually, like as I say, I think this is the one goal where you can go, no, Clark is at fault for this. Other people
I'm
are
not
at
sure I
fault.
agree.
Other people are
I
at fault
really
as
don't.
well.
Oh, 100%. Why go out and press Oscar Cortez, who's just already scored?
Yeah, that's what I
Why
mean.
go out and press John Suter, who we know firsthand, having seen it for the best part of 2 or 3 years,
Yeah,
can play that arrowed ball. It's a wonderful
it's a
pass from
great
John
ball.
Suter.
It's a great
And
ball.
a decent volley. He loses rolls with such ease as well. Do you
Yeah,
notice that?
yeah, yeah. Rose is at fault. Atkinson's at fault. Who would have been the?
Vargas I like because he does put a shift in. On this
Yeah,
occasion, he didn't.
yeah,
He just
yeah. I think
allows
Vargas would
Cortez
be.
to pick it
Yeah,
up and then just fire back into Suter. Too deep at that stage as well. But again, I understand it. Given we've conceded 2 early doors, it could be a cricket score.
yeah,
It just the lack of pressure onto the ball
yeah.
here
Stop the
is
cross.
stop the cross. Stop him shifting it onto his favoured right foot.
Yeah.
Do something.
That's what I mean. I think there's again like 4 or 5 outfield players at fault, but I also think Clark is a keeper, and it's my criticism of Clark generally where I just don't think he's confident when the ball's in the air. He's not great. He often tends to punch instead of catch when I think he could be catching. But I was just like, come on, at least try and do something. At that point, it's half time. The game's done. I'll be totally honest. I had stuff to do. I had IKEA furniture to build. I turned it off. I was just like, right, fuck this.
I'm thinking this could be absolutely anything they wanted to be today.
Yeah.
Anything.
At half time, the change comes. Kai Rolls comes off, and Alan Forrest comes on. He just shouldn't have been dropped. He just shouldn't have been
But then,
like.
what do you do, McIver? Because he was obviously going to go with a three.
Yeah. Oh no, but
Do
I
you
just wouldn't have
sacrifice somebody
started
in midfield?
Vargas. I
Do
just
you play? You wouldn't have started Vargas.
no. I would have started Forrest.
Interesting. Could you have played Alan Forrest further forward of Beningame and Neuenhoff?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe you could have done that
And
instead of Grant.
try and go not kind of 3-4-3, but like have Vargas and Forrest
Yeah.
up with
Maybe.
Shankland and
Totally.
I don't know.
Totally could have done that. I just personally wouldn't have started Vargas. Nothing against him. I just thought that Naismith would probably go with a 3, so you're limited in who you pick. You're obviously not dropping Shankland. So I was like, right, I think Forrest is better, and then Vargas off the bench. I
Like I
understand
say,
why.
I just think it's again the Parkhead blueprint where he's gone. Yeah, I need a 3-5-2,
Yeah,
and
totally.
so
As I say,
a Vargas or Forrest will have to sit out. Vargas scored last week. I can't really drop him. Forrest has been decent for us this season, but again, like I don't know, it's a
I know
selection
why he
headache.
did
But
it. I know why he did it, and I don't really blame him. I just personally would because, and I know the other way would have happened if the same thing happens and Vargas doesn't start. People would be going, "Why is Vargas not starting?"
Where's
Kind of
Vargas?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Rolls rightfully hooked at half time, but
Yeah,
defensively we didn't get any better.
nah. I
So
can't believe
as
Atkinson played the full 90.
as much as I was slewing him, it was awful,
Yeah,
really really
totally.
bad.
And it immediately, because let's be honest, there's no real point.
Oh
The
my
game's done
god,
at this point. There's no real
this
point in like
no
analysing the rest of the game. So we'll
this
just go
goal
into the goals.
this goal, good lord,
I
my
don't even
goodness.
really know how to explain this. The ball's crossed in, and Desser's like,
John Sterling's got all the time in the world yet again to cross. By the way,
yeah, the ball sails over Frankie Kent's head, who I thought, by the way, probably his worst game for us.
yeah,
I thought he
yeah,
was bullied a lot.
I'd go along with that again. Like I don't think any of the three centre halves covered themselves in glory
I
here.
thought Kingsley was the best of a bad bunch overall.
Uh, yeah, but when the other two are as bad
Yeah, it's
as
no much
Kent
like
and Rolls were,
positive.
like there's
Yeah.
absolutely no consolation.
Yeah, totally. The ball comes in, it goes flying over Frank Kent's head. Dessers controls it, arguably with his hands, arms, but whatever.
It's not even like he takes it down with such ease, and it's what happens after he takes it down that you're just thinking to yourself like, what is even happening here? Am I
It's
living in a simulation? Like what is this?
it's just an absolute stramash. Legs flying, trying to clear it, getting in each other's way, and it ends up Dessers manages to just kind of bundle it into the roof of the net. Whatever the game plan was at half time, that's also gone out the window, and it's 4-0.
Atkinson, pathetic. Benny, woeful. Kent, decked. diabolical defending. This is not what you'd expect given our defensive record. The fact we've kept the second most clean sheets in the league. I don't care if we're playing the potential champions or not. This is just atrocious. I don't even know what you say about this. Like again, and Clark can do nothing here. You've been slowing Clark all episode, but he's absolutely helpless when it's smashed at him from a couple of yards out.
If Clark had saved that, he would never be dropped again. It would just be like, right, okay, whatever.
Again, it's like Atkinson's little footing to make it look like he's doing something. Benny Beningame, what is he up to?
Yeah.
And as I say, Frankie Kent just ends up on the deck so easy. It just really, that summed it up. Not even the fact that we conceded after 2 minutes. This goal just summed it up. Absolutely bullied.
Exactly. And as I say, it's 4-0. There's no, but we kind of created some more chances, but by this point the game's dead, so you can't really.
Shankland had a goal with a left-footed drive that was pretty tame.
Yeah.
He hit the post, I think, after the fifth.
Scott Fraser hit an effort that was like trundling towards.
I actually thought Tago was quite unlucky with an effort.
Yeah, that's true.
With a chance on 84 minutes. I thought they did all right. Shankland cleared it for Forrest, who actually sent a brilliant ball up to him.
Yeah.
He's virtually on his own. I don't mind. He's got no other option, and he actually works the goalkeeper. So, he's another that people have slewed, but I know it's easy to look somewhat decent at 5-0 down, but he actually did. I thought, okay, that's
but what's expected of him, he did fine.
You've shown us something. You've at least had a go.
Yeah,
it would be so easy to just come on and just hide in amongst that crowd. But I actually thought that, do you know what, gave it a go. Yeah, all right, he could have done better with the effort, but he's had a crack, so I don't necessarily mind it.
Yeah, exactly.
There was far worse on the day.
And then we will just talk about the fifth goal. John Lundstrom finds Fabio Silva, who fires past Clark at a tight angle. It's a good finish.
Taking the piss at this point. I actually think that this is one that Clark could do better with.
I also think he could do better here as well.
But they're just taking the absolute mick, because I think it's a no-look pass from John Lundstrom, who, as I said, looks absolutely transformed under Clement.
Yeah.
As opposed to Beale or even Gerrard. It's weird.
True.
It seems to be better under foreign managers than those that were English and coaching them. But again, don't get it.
Listen.
Yeah, decent finish from Silva. If only he had started like we suggested. But it came off the bench and still found a way to score. So
yeah, exactly. So listen, I think, it was just a very bad day at the office. But my attitude is
perhaps the understatement of the year. My
attitude is very much, listen, we didn't turn up. They really did. There's a lot of credit in the bank. I've seen us have performances like that all my life. So my reaction was genuinely just like, okay, I don't care.
How many times have we seen this story though? Like, we head to Glasgow full of confidence. Everybody gets excited thinking, I don't know if the media stir this up because it's been so long that neither Celtic nor Rangers have won the league. And everybody just goes, oh, we might have a challenge from somebody else. Whether they perhaps want to take their old firm tinted spectacles off for a second and think, well, yeah, we'll give a credit to another team. This was just what I've seen countless times, where you just go full of confidence and it's a bloody nose early doors. And to be honest, you try and land a couple of punches, but you're knocked out fairly early on. It just... so annoying. Let's just focus on finishing third. We didn't even do that last season. We pissed away a commanding position. What needs to happen now is we do not let this fucking slip. We've got these numpties on Wednesday night. We have to bounce back with a victory. It's amazing, isn't it? Hibs fans have been quiet for so long. Their delusion actually knows no bounds. They pick up 3 points for the first time since, as you rightly said, the 9th of December, and all of a sudden, all is forgiven, despite the fact that they're languishing in the bottom six. Let's go and prove why they're a bottom six team. Let's go and prove why we're the best of the rest. Let's get fucking wired into them from the start, and let's actually have a commanding performance from 90 minutes, the entire length, and get the result that we should get, because we are better than them. Simple as. Turn up, win the game, and we host Celtic at Tynecastle on Sunday, hopefully breeding some confidence from a derby win, because they are rubbish and we are better than them. So no excuses.
Well, that's a perfect segue, because yes, we have the next Edinburgh derby of the season. Midweek, not on television. Livingston Motherwell
That's how
gets
you know it'll
that.
be a good game.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be
If it's on the
4-3 someday.
if it's on the telly, then it'd be rubbish.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting goals and I'm expecting a response.
Exactly. So, as many have said, it's probably the best game you can possibly hope for to bounce back with. And it is very much like, could be a fork in the road. It could be a moment where, yeah, we start to let this affect us. We go, oh God, got battered. What happens now? We've got a derby, a lot of big pressure, and we'll let that slip. And then we get beat again by Celtic, and it starts to kind of just drop off again. Or it shows that it was just like, yeah, listen, we had an off day. Sorry, that's going to happen, especially in a team that is learning with a new rookie manager. Don't worry though, we are still better than the rest. So yeah, against the top two, it might be a struggle, but with everybody else, still get a win. Don't worry, 14 points back, clearing third. I hope it's very much the latter and not the former. But
yeah,
what team would you play?
It's a contentious start between the sticks.
I know who I'm going with.
I'm sticking with Clark.
I'm going Gordon.
I'm going Clark. Better be a four at the back. I
Oh,
swear
it
to
has
God.
to be.
I'm going Lembakisa right back.
Right.
I'm going Kent. I'm going Kingsley.
Right.
I'm going Cochrane. My two sitters would be Neuenhoff, definitely. I'd be tempted to bring back his compatriot alongside him
Right.
at Benny Beningham's expense. I don't know. Midfield is just littered with rubbish right now for me. I don't
How do you
like.
mean?
I thought Benny Beningame was off the boil, and again, like I'd go Fraser at 10 because I'm not having Grant. Simple as.
Right.
Vargas right, Forrest left, Shankland up front. I just don't know who would partner Neuenhoff. I'd be tempted to bring Devlin back.
Right. Is that who you're going with?
Yeah, probably because I don't. Benny's been poor for a wee bit, if you're asking me honestly. So yeah,
Well, I would play that exact team, but with two changes.
okay,
I'd play Gordon.
right.
And again,
Don't say that.
I just think like Naismith's probably been
I
sat going,
know.
at some point I'm going to have to bring Gordon back in, but when do I do it? Because Clark's been so good. I think this is
But
quite
why does he have to? Clark's
because
been decent
Gordon's
for us.
better. Because Gordon's better. Clark has been decent for us, but Gordon's the best player I've ever seen at Hearts. So that's the problem. And that's what I mean. It's unfair to Xander Clark. If he was up against any other team, he'd be obviously first choice. If
I
he
think
was
we've
up
got
any
Clark to
other,
thank for it not being 7 or 8.
totally, but he still did also concede 5. So that's what I mean for Naismith. It's an easy thing to go, listen, Xander, it's nothing against you.
Give me your
Don't worry.
defence. I'm intrigued to see who you're picking at the back.
So I'd pick Gordon and I'd play the exact same backline as you, except for I would be fine with Rose coming in to be like,
Oh my
right,
God.
come on, you've put. I mean, he's quite regularly played well against Hibs, so I think it would be like,
Gave
right,
away a penalty in the last derby.
he did, but he also then saved us from getting beat or dropping points. So actually, it was a genius decision from Kai Rose.
To be fair, watching that 90 minutes, I'm not sure necessarily he did. I just felt as though that was just 22 men flinging shite at each
Nah,
other.
Kai Rose knew.
Terrible.
Kai Rose knew. He's like, this is going in.
Absolutely abysmal game of football. Purely because it was broadcast on television. The
Yeah.
fact that it's not means that it should be a cracker at midweek.
I'd have Kai Rose in purely because I think that was very much an anomaly of a performance. However,
I hope you're right.
if it was Kent and Kingsley, I wouldn't be like, oh, for God's sake, what are we doing? Because Kingsley will be like, I was one of the few people who was like, all right against Rangers. Why am I getting dropped? So I totally I would
He
be
was rightfully
fine
raging
either
at
way.
the fourth goal as well. I love
Yeah.
that from Stephen Kingsley, a bit of passion.
So that's the thing. If it is a 2 of Kent and Kingsley, I will think that's good. If it's a 2 of Rolls and Kent,
I think
will
he'll
also
go
think
with.
it's
I
good.
think he'll go with Rolls.
Potentially.
Please, it has to be a back four. My worry is that
Yeah, it has to be a
keeps the
back 4.
three.
I'd also play Devlin, by the way. I'd play Devlin and
Would you?
Neuhoff.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And then, yeah, that front 4, probably the same. Fraser, I've not really been, like, inspired by.
Neither have I. And again, I'm not a George Grant fan. This is what I mean. The midfield is minging, really.
I don't think it's minging because
I
it's
think
been part of a
Neuenhoff's been
team
the
that's
best by a
played.
mile.
Yeah, that's true.
This season.
That's definitely true. Neuenhoff's been our best midfielder. But
And
again,
I love Benny Beningame, but again, it's just not. I don't know. It just looks a wee shadow recently of the player that he was.
I
I'm
don't
really
want to
curious.
lose sight of the
Oh,
fact that we've just come off a 12-game unbeaten run where the midfield has been a part of that. So
I
I don't
know,
want to just be
I
like,
know, I
oh, we're throwing
know.
everything out. Because I think my point was going to be, I've not been inspired by Scott Fraser, but I've also not been like, well, he looks terrible. Like, I
Yeah,
think you can tell there's a player there. So it's like, all right,
be
okay, yeah, he's fine.
brilliant if he got a wee goal or like played
Yeah,
a big part in the winner or
totally.
something. Just had like a contribution, a big contribution
Yeah,
to kind of kickstart his career at Hearts on Wednesday
absolutely.
night. That would be nice.
And as I say, I am very much one who has not thrown the baby out the bathwater. I couldn't believe how some folk were like, right, we need a massive overhaul. We need to totally change it. It's like, we just had a
Nah,
bad
it
day at the office. Like,
just
everybody calm down.
that'll get worse if we don't pick up the 3 points
Yeah,
midweek.
totally.
But I'm taking consolation in the fact that Hibs are stinking. We are better than Hibernian
I
Football Club
think
right
I,
now.
I think you can tell that their forward line has something about them because they very rarely go through games where they don't score, but their defense is
It's
minging.
abysmal.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the team that played against Dundee. Clark or Gordon superior to Marshall.
yep,
Cochrane over Abita.
yep,
Kingsley or Rolls over Bashiri.
yeah, definitely.
Kent clear of fish.
Yep,
Atkinson or Lembakisa, I think, is an upgrade on Miller.
same.
Newell or Neuenhoff all
Neuenhof.
day. Mariah Welsh or Devlin or Beningame. It's
I've
Devlin or
I've
Beningame.
not seen anything of this guy, so I can't comment.
There you go. Offensively, I mean, Shanklin gets in over Venti all day.
Yeah.
It's the three in behind. Maolida seems to be lighting up for Hibs.
Ah, he seems to be doing well, eh?
So, but Alan Forrest has been doing well for us.
Yeah.
So, again, Martin Boyle looks a shadow.
He
I,
does, but he's
are
still
they,
somebody that turns up in these games
of
and I'll be
course,
worried about.
of course. But my point is, we keep the wingers quiet, we win the game. Simple
Yeah,
as.
it should be that. And that's why I think the four benefits us because you can double up on them.
I don't
So,
know about my man Marcondes. I saw that as well, looking up the Hearts Rangers Hearts score.
but like
I was getting a
obviously he's
photo with
going.
some wee fan. A hundred
Obviously,
percent, the boy that is taking the photo has asked him to do that.
well, no, I wouldn't be surprised if he did because like he's probably going. Oh well, yeah, we're playing them in a few days. What was their
Hi,
score?
yeah.
Like I didn't understand the reaction to that.
No,
Where
no.
I didn't understand pro and negative to it. Where Hibs fans are like, What a maverick? What's he like?" And Hearts fans being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"How fucking dare?" It's like
Hilarious.
a professional footballer looked up a score. I wouldn't be
I'm
surprised
not
if
arsed.
Cochrane was looking up the Hibs score on the bus back, being like, "Oh, what did they do?" kind of thing. It's just football players are still
Yeah,
humans, so
yeah.
they'll check the
It's
next
part and
those things.
parcel of the game.
Um, can I trouble you for a score prediction?
2-0 or 3-1.
I think 1-1. I think it's going to be one of
Oh,
the
come
games.
on.
I think
No,
it's going to be one
no.
of the games where both the keeper. Is it not? Isn't it going to be that Wallacott? Is Marshall back?
Don't know. Marshall was between the sticks at
Oh,
the
was he?
weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Sorry, I didn't know if he was back
yeah.
after he
No,
got subbed against
Marshall.
Aberdeen. It
Marshall
probably
was
is
back
Marshall then.
between the sticks.
I just feel like it could be. Remember the first? Was it the first derby of last season and the season before where it was 1-1 and both keepers just had an absolute blinder? Macy and Gordon both just like were really, really
0-0, was it
good.
not?
No, no, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
both keepers just like played out their skins. I worry it's going to be one of them. But listen, midweek, quarter to eight kickoff. It's going to be interesting regardless. And I am looking forward to it. Like I am
I
really looking forward to it.
I better be reeking by the time kickoff comes around because I hate it. I get really anxious. I have
Oh yeah,
nothing like
same. I'm
we
going to be a
really should
mess.
have nothing to fear, but just worry about us again. This nature of not turning up first half.
Yeah.
If we're bang at it from the start, I'm confident we will win. If we're not, we'll see.
Who knows? And then,
So get the
as you
finger out.
said, we then on Sunday have Celtic
Great.
arriving at Tynecastle. I'm not going to ask you for your team because it will be very dependent on
Of course.
Wednesday. And again, score prediction is kind of the same, but just on the current situation, what's your score prediction?
Off. Jesus. It depends if first half Celtic today turn up or second
Hmm.
half Celtic. It depends if 90-minute Hearts at Ibrox turn up.
Yep.
It's difficult to ask me that because, as you say, it
Yeah, of
depends on a
course.
lot. But I think we've got a right good chance if we play at our best. I
Yeah.
do. I really do. That might be deluded. We might Celtic could blitz Dundee in midweek
Yeah.
for all we know, and then I'm feeling a heck of a lot less confident. But they've been finding a way to win, which is really annoying. And the fact that we beat them at Parkhead as well, they're going to be very angry. And arguably, their best performance of the season came against us earlier on at Tynecastle in the season. So when I couple this, we probably enter it as slight underdogs, but that by absolutely no means does that mean that we shouldn't think that we can get a result. I
Yeah.
definitely do, particularly if we are all right up from it in the stands on the park. Naismith will have us fired up. I think we could take at least a point on Sunday. Right now, I'm going to say one apiece.
I'm going to go for a classic 2-1 Celtic where it's really tight and then they do what they did. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Now, I very much hope I'm wrong.
I
very much hope I'm wrong with both games. And then we turn up next Tuesday fucking laughing with 6 points.
Turn up in midweek, please.
Yeah. I think if you said to any Hearts fan, you win on Wednesday, but you get beat off Celtic, I think every Hearts fan would be like, okay, cool.
4 points would be good. 6 would just be an absolute bonus. It has to be at least 3, is the way I'm looking at it. Have to beat these bastards on Wednesday.
Well, we will see what happens. But until that time, we've got to finish this episode with the quiz. I have no idea what this is going to go like.
This could be absolutely humming. I was talking about a terrible performance at Ibrox. It'd be quite ironic if I chucked in a horrific performance in this quiz.
Well, a lot of the questions are related to the game. So,
oh, God almighty.
We will see. So, as ever, we've got the who am I, multiple choice, 2 normal questions, and a true or false. We're starting with both the normal questions. So, in yesterday's game, Lawrence Shanklin did something he rarely does, and that's not score. But in how many?
My answer.
In how many league games this season has Shanklin not scored in? Now, I will tell you, we have played 27 league games. Shanklin has played in all 27.
And this isn't a multiple choice?
Nope. You were a bastard to me last week.
Jesus, wet.
I'm going to... Okay, I was going to say I'll give you if you're 2 off each way, but it doesn't matter because the answer is 12.
Wow, really?
Because remember, he went
braces, I suppose.
And he went like 6 games at the start of the season without scoring, and everyone was like, "Oh, is he off the boil?
Oh, he looks overweight. He's not interested."
Remember that time in like September?
Jesus. Wow, I didn't think it was as many as that. Okay, fair play.
That does, however, me if you look at he scored in 15 out of 27 games at least once.
Hopefully he's got a couple saved for Wednesday night. That would be very nice. I think he'll get at least one, by the way.
I hope so. I thought
you were going to ask for goal scorers as well in the derby.
Oh yeah, apologies. What would your goal scorers be in the derby?
I'm going to say if Fraser starts, then this will be the time. Why not?
Fair. Absolutely fair.
2-0 Shanklin and Fraser. Not necessarily in that order.
No, but just those two. Yeah. I think it'll be Shanklin and that Malida. Is that how you say his name? Maolida, I'm not sure. Him, the boy who scored against Dundee.
The Congolese fellow.
So, question 2. In our lifetimes, how many times have Hearts won at Ibrox?
What a humming question that is.
Do you read your Twitter? Because you shared this stat off the account, which is how I saw it. The Hearts Standard tweeted it. And then it was retweeted onto our page by Perth to Paisley. So I was like, let's see if he actually pays attention.
No, just retweet. Joel asked me to retweet it. He doesn't really. Yeah. Right. Try to think. So we've not won there in the Premiership top tier since 2012.
Right.
Jamie Hamill 10. And somebody else. Can't remember who got another goal. 2-1. Same again in the Championship. That's twice. I can remember a couple of draws. I think the Palazuelo scoring with nicked a draw. David Abua as well on an opening day of the season. I don't know. I've got 2 in my head that I know for a fact. I'd like to think it's more than that, but given our track record and the fact that we're winless in a decade, I don't think it'll be many more than that. Alan Johnston hat-trick was before our time.
Yep, that was 96.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm going to go Oh, 4. No idea why it's in my head.
He said 2. He's went with 4. The
So it's
answer's
2.
3.
Oh! What was the other one?
We won in 2001.
Oh, God, that's annoying.
That was amazing. I
Oh,
thought you were going to
Jesus.
get it as well.
Oh, that is really annoying. What was the score? Who scored for us?
I don't even know. I'll check right now.
Oh, my
Rangers
God.
versus Hearts, 2001. Was it 2001?
I don't know. I didn't write the question.
Neither did that. Somebody said it was early. I think it. My dad got it right. I asked my dad this, and my dad was like, "Oh yeah, or was it 2002?" Oh, here we go. Let's see.
When you just Google Hearts win at Ibrox, you can't get that many results.
Yeah,
Surely.
that's actually very true. Hearts win at Ibrox. It takes me back to the 80s or something.
Take you back to Alan Johnson hat trick.
Yeah, exactly. The last for fuck. All right, London Hearts. London Hearts.
Nice. London Hearts bailing us out.
Right. It was 2004. We won 1-0, and it was a
Wow.
Joe Hamill goal.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
There we go. I knew it was early
Nice.
2000s. I just couldn't mind.
2004. Wow. Jesus,
Bloody
20
hell.
year.
Yep. Right.
20 years ago, and we've only won twice since then. So it's
Yep.
literally once every 10 years.
Yep.
Good work.
Love it. True or false? Yesterday's result was the single biggest loss Hearts have had at Ibrox in 3 years.
In
Now you're
3
thinking.
years. Well, we lost 5-0 under Robbie there as well, am I right?
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure it is. So then what does that mean? Because
do you want to hear the question again?
It would be the exact same. So it's got to be false, isn't it? Or true? But give us the question again.
Yesterday's result was the single biggest loss Hearts have had at Ibrox in 3 years.
But I don't know the time of the Robbie loss. So it's false. It has to be false because we lost 5-0 under Nielsen there as well.
Correct, because yes,
Yeah.
we matched it. It wasn't the single biggest. Well done.
Try to catch me out.
Yeah, I tried to. I put that one
cheeky
word. I was like,
so-and-so.
let's see if he does. So yes, it was 5-0 on the 6th of February, 2022.
I remember that. I watched that in my work on the back shift. What a laugh.
Toby Sibbick running in
tell I was busy.
quicksand. I mind that.
Taylor
Right.
Moore, I think, started in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely abysmal.
Right. Multiple choice. Yesterday, out of the players who played a full 90 minutes for Hearts, who had the least amount of touches? Was it Stephen Kingsley, George Grant?
Sander Clark.
No, it's outfield players. Stephen Kingsley, George Grant, Nathaniel Atkinson, or Alex Cochrane?
Absolutely no idea. This is a simple shot in the dark. I've been very angry towards George Grant. I believe that he's got a tendency to go missing. I will go with George Grant.
The correct answer is
Alex Cochrane.
Stephen Kingsley.
Wow, really?
Which was he only had 60 touches in the whole game.
Interesting. I can see that that's why FotMob gave him the worst rating.
Which I saw a lot of people complaining about. That's how I saw it. So when they FotMob, I clicked on them. I was like, why did they have such a bad rating? And it said that. It was like, Stephen Kingsley had the lowest amount of touches in the whole game for anyone who completed 90 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Right. Who am I?
Absolutely blinding performance. What's that, 1?
1 out of 4, which in fairness is better than I did last week. So
yeah, but you say this like I'm going to get the who am I? This will be some random Togolese bloke that I've never heard of.
Who knows?
And made a grand total of 1 appearance.
Who knows? Right.
Hit me with it.
I have played in Scotland, Slovakia, England, the Czech Republic, Lithuania, Cyprus, and Romania.
Jesus Christ.
I made my Hearts debut against a side I would go on to later play for. I had a very impactful moment in an Edinburgh derby. Right. The current Hearts manager put a dagger through my heart in one of my best games for the club. Who am I?
I think I know this off the bat. But I'm not sure. I'd be bold to have a guess.
It would be the boldest moment in the quiz's history.
Do I just go for it because it popped into my head?
Don't know.
Can I throw it out there and just ask like other questions?
Well, you can say who you think it is, but not have it as your actual answer.
I think it's Marianne Kello.
Right.
Did Marianne Kello play for St Mirren? I've got a feeling that he did, and I don't know why. I don't know where that's coming. That's coming to my head.
Right.
No, no. Think about this. Think logically. Put a dagger through my heart. So I need to know if he's a goalkeeper or a centre half. Does this player play in goals, Daniel McIver?
This player does play in goals.
It's Marianne Kello. It has to be.
Is that your guess?
Yes, I'm going with it.
I gave you an easy one. It's Marianne Kello.
Yeah,
Well done.
nice,
I knew this quiz
nice.
was an absolute bastard, and I was like,
Whew!
giving him hard who am I's. He'll get the Marianne
That
Kello.
was not bad considering I knew that from the off. That was decent. I had to make sure because I thought if this isn't a keeper, then I've had to
Yes.
hear. Well, look at absolute numpty.
So yeah, he's played in all those different countries. Fair play to him.
I didn't think he was as well travelled as that.
Nah. And then I made my Hearts debut against the side I would go on to play for, St Mirren.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
And then I had a very impactful moment in the Edinburgh Derby. The key word there is impactful. He got stretchered off after he went up with a head knock with Colin Nish, and Ballop replaced him. Yeah. And then the current Hearts manager put a dagger through my heart in one of my best games for the club.
I remember it. He was brilliant as well that day. And
yes, he was.
Gasp. Was it
because
did they not get 2 late goals? Was it Lafferty and Naismith?
Lafferty and Naismith, yes. Yeah. Naismith in the 92nd minute, he made a save from Stephen Davis that was voted save of the season in the league at the end of the season.
Yeah, there you go. I briefly remember that game, but yeah, that was horrible. That
I thought I'd give you a decent one.
Who did he play for down south? I'm curious.
Wolves.
Did he?
Yeah, he joined on an emergency loan deal. Hold on, I'll get it.
I don't remember him playing down south at all.
On the 28th of March 2013, Kello signed for English Championship club Wolverhampton Wanderers in a short-term deal until the end of the season. So because Wayne Hennessy and Carl Akime both got hurt, so he was there from March till May as they were trying to battle relegation.
I remember hearing Ryan Stevenson talking on a podcast saying that he'd been asked at Ipswich while he was there, they were having a look at Marianne Kello, and their only concern was his height, because I think he was 5'10", 5'11".
He was 6'1".
6'1". Oh,
but that's still not massive for keeper. But you say that, so
yeah, because they were talking that at least, I think he had to be at least 6'4", and Ipswich would consider making a move. But the only reason that they didn't was again height concerns.
Well, with interest from Aston Villa and other English clubs to sign a pre-contract on the 5th of April. Wow. 5th of April 2012, so just a month before the cup win, Kello agreed to an early termination. After being released by the club, Kello joined Ipswich on trial.
Ah, there you go.
He featured in 2 pre-season friendlies as a trialist, but despite impressing the manager Paul Jewell, they didn't sign him due to height restraints.
Ah, yeah, there you go. Yes, I heard Steve will speak about that. So that's interesting. He'd have been there at the time, of course, because
obviously,
during the cup win, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then came back.
He then joined Wolves on a trial and played a pre-season game against Telford, but no deal was agreed then. So he then goes to Romania and plays for Astra Giurgiu and plays himself.
Go.
Yes, exactly. However, he only made 2 appearances between the 5th of September 2012 and then was released in December. So then he signed for Wolves in the short term in March 2013. And then he signed for St Mirren for 2 years. And then he went to that team that beat Rangers, Aris Limassol.
Oh.
Did they beat them or get a draw? I can't mind.
They beat them over there and got a draw at Ibrox.
So he played there for 2 years.
Oh, there you go.
So I thought I'd give you one that I definitely knew you'd know.
That was
so
nice.
Fine.
Exactly. And you've obviously known that I've had a rough weekend. So that's
exactly. So it was like, right, it's a shite quiz, but I'll give him the who am I.
Very, very considerate. Thank you very much. Exactly. Greatly appreciated.
So, did you get it as quick as Adam? I'd be very impressed if you did. Let us know if you did, and we really hope that you have enjoyed this episode, even though it's mostly just been like, that was shite, but it was shite. So, thank you very much for listening. If you have enjoyed it, please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please have a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials, perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can find me watching a compilation of Marion Kello's best saves in a Hearts shirt at Adam T. Kendall. What about yourself, mate?
My final clue, by the way, was going to be I was one of Daniel's favourite players when he was wee because I
I
fucking
love
loved
Marion
Marion
Kello
Kelly.
as well.
I
Yeah,
loved him so
top
much.
keeper.
I am at DMcIver22. We'll be back next week to discuss all the fallout from the derby, all the fallout from the Celtic game, and everything else that happens in between. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Come on, Hearts!